So with that said, I think the organizers of this conference have a special presentation to make. And so I'd like to hand it over to Michael to share a word or two before we then pass over to Hassan. Michael?
Thank you very much for this, Artie. It's, as I said at the very beginning 2 hours ago, what an honor it is to be on the same panel on the same stage internationally as Richard and John. You know, in my view, but in the view of many, many people across the world, they're icons among international human rights lawyers. By their willingness to use their already well-established reputations as rights-seeking lawyers and academics to become special rapporteurs on the question of Palestine, both of them have immeasurably elevated the spotlight and the impact of this particular mandate. Whatever I've been able to accomplish as special rapporteur on human rights in the occupied Palestinian territory, it's largely because John and Richard both took their roles as special rapporteurs for this mandate seriously enough and professionally enough to say truthfully and out loud what was happening before their eyes when very few people in international authority were, and unfortunately still are, willing to do so. This recognition by Birzeit University, the academic citadel of Palestine, is a wonderful and well-deserved honor to these two human rights giants, and I'm pleased to have a small role in acknowledging their contributions. Artie?
Thank you, Michael. Over to you, Hassan.
Thank you so much, Artie, for the brilliant moderation. Thanks, Michael, Richard, and John for the fruitful and wonderful insight indeed. So, my dear professors, Richard and John, I'm standing in front of you today virtually, two real icons as a child indeed, not in the sense of age, but in the sense of lack of knowledge, lack of depth, but at the same time, the desire to learn. In fact, if I try to think back to how I was inspired to pursue and study law while I'm making my way today as a PhD scholar, I find that my knowledge of international law started with you and still grows with all the knowledge you have offered and still offer. Thank you for all the inspiration you have given, not only to me personally, but to all those who seek to push for justice and emancipation in the face of those working to ensure it's never realized. The path you have forged in international law will remain forever open. We and history are witness to your work and efforts. Words indeed cannot express how pleased I am today to be able to honor you and to organize for this event. This event means so much to us at Law for Palestine in our path for justice. Thank you for accepting this. I also want to express my gratitude to Birzeit University, whose administration did everything in their capacity to turn this event into reality. Here, allow me to pass the mic to the representative of the university, Dr. Iyad Tamour, Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs, to present the university's award. The mic is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Iyad Tamour. I am the Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs. Thank you very much, all participants in this really important conference. I would like to thank and appreciate our partners, speakers, all participants in this significant conference for their time, great efforts they did throughout this day and previous weeks. These efforts undoubtedly contribute positively to supporting struggles to achieve justice for the Palestinian people. We wish you and we hope this conference will continue, and we wish long sustainability for this conference in the future. And we are always ready and happy to participate and organize and support this conference in the future. I'm here to represent Birzeit University in expressing our great thanks and our great gratitude to all participants, especially for the two great professors, Richard Falk and John Dugard, for their remarkable academic contributions in the field of international law and human rights, and for all their great efforts in serving rights of the Palestinian people, both from their previous positions at the United Nations as rapporteurs of the human rights situation in the occupied Palestine, or through their advocacy for Palestine rights in international forums.
I am happy to present the University Shield to the two professors, Richard Falk and John Dugard, and we will send the shield to them by post.
The university also expressed its great pleasure that the two professors accepted the university offer with its intention to grant them the title of emeritus professors, which we hope will contribute positively to serving the mission and the vision of Birzeit University in the coming days. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Dr. Iyad. Thanks to Birzeit University. Now I should pass the mic to Law for Palestine's chairman of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Mu'taz Qafishe, to present the award on behalf of Law for Palestine. Dr. Mu'taz, the mic is yours. It seems you are muted, Dr. Mu'taz.
Yes, thank you, Hassan. Just in my capacity as the head of Board of Trustees of Law of Palestine, I would just like to add a few words to both Richard and John. We should recognize with honor, all Palestinians should recognize, all Palestinian law students and law professors, that we all are students of you both great heroes of the question of Palestine. You are more Palestinians than most Palestinians. You wrote about Palestine and international law than any Palestinian ever has been written on the question of Palestine. So I think what you have achieved would remain generations or even centuries to come. We will all always remember you with great appreciation and honor. I personally have just a few words about my personal experience with both John and Richard. You know, as you may know, I worked at the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights in Palestine, and I worked with John Dugard for a few years. I could experience and see in my eye how he was dealing with the question of Palestine, not as a UN official, but also as we say in French, militant de droit de l'homme, as an activist, defender of human rights. I still remember how we one day were stopped by Israeli soldiers at a checkpoint near the youth village. And John, you remember, I think very well, how the Israeli soldiers were pointing their guns on the car where John was sitting, and he was courageously confronted the soldiers and asked them to allow us to continue our mission. So we should say, John, we really love you, as we say it in Palestine. And with regard to Richard Falk, as we all know, as teachers of international law and students of international law, that any professor of international law in the world, not only in Palestine, learns from Richard Falk's scholarship. You, as everybody should know, you were the most cited law professor in international law in the world, not only with regard to the question of Palestine. Anyone who studied international law could not understand international law without Richard Falk scholarship. I still remember one day when I asked Richard Falk to write an introduction to a book that I edited. I expected that Richard would write maybe half a page or maybe 1 page about the content of that book. But I discovered that Richard read the whole book. It was 500 pages. He read it entirely, and that was clear from the 5-page introduction that he wrote to my book. So whatever words that we say would not be able to give you justice, both our heroes. So thank you very much, and please allow me to present our modest present to you both. It's a small portrait that was drawn, painted by two of our friend of the law of Palestine. They are both Rawan Haj Yunus and Ghufran Haj Yunus. They are both artists from Syria. They wrote this portrait for you, and we hope that you will like it. So it's shown now on the screen, and we'll be happy to send it to you by post in the near future. Thank you very much again and again.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mu'taz. Back to you, Ardi. The mic is yours.
Well, thank you very much for passing the mic on to me. Why don't we hear from our esteemed panelists and the emeritus professors, Richard Falk and John Dugard. Which one of you would like to address us first?
Well, shall I go first as the earlier rapporteur? Just let me say how delighted and pleased I am to have been honored in this way by the University of Birzeit. I have visited the University of Birzeit on many occasions while I was special rapporteur and also thereafter, and I really am delighted by this honor. It does bring my closeness to the Palestinian people even closer, and I would also like to recall the occasion on which Ustaz and I were confronted with by the IDF when I was special rapporteur. It was a very memorable occasion for me as well. So thank you very, very much. I'm deeply honored by this award.
It's an honor to us.
Let me add my sense of appreciation, being very moved by the remarks that were made by previous speakers. It culminates, this attachment to Birzeit culminates my long engagement with the Palestinian struggle. And it's been an engagement that, although it's brought many practical difficulties in my life, has also been a source of inspiration and gratification. I've had contact with many wonderful Palestinian people who have maintained a position of resistance and struggle and human compassion under the most difficult of circumstances. And for me, the Palestinian movement was a sequel to my own involvement with the opposition to the Vietnam War, and it represents a sense of continuity of trying to make the world more compatible with the aspirations embodied in human rights as a perspective that challenges the political realists who shape the geopolitical configurations that have caused so much human suffering. So this is a wonderful experience for me, and it reinforces my commitment to the Palestinian people.
Well, Richard, John, thank you so very much for everything, for your comments, for your time today, and most importantly, for the examples that you've set for all of us who deal with international law, the question of Palestine, and even broader than that, justice in the world. Friends, Colleagues, I think that brings us to the end of this panel, but I do believe we may have some more. Hassan, would you like to
No.
guide us?
Yes, no, we are done with this session. Now we are moving to the next session with the Aya Khalaf, who we
Wonderful.
can see now in the
Thank you very much. I saw Aya's face, so I wasn't sure if we'd come to an end. So that brings us to the end of this panel. Thank you so very much. I personally would like to thank the special rapporteurs, of course, but also Law for Palestine, Birzeit University, and the Independent Commission of Human Rights. Wishing you all well and continue to strive for justice. Be well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.